Hey everybody, I'm here today to show you and tell you how to draw a perfect star. This will be a tutorial for beginners, so let's get right into the video. I've seen some tutorials where they show you how to draw a perfect star and you're making all sorts of perfectly shaped and spaced circles on the paper using a math compass, and that works really well, but it's really hard to do. I'm going to show you an easier way to make your star look perfect, okay? It's not going to necessarily have all of the exact same angles, but it'll look very symmetrical. It'll look as perfect as it can be, unless you go ahead and you take a protractor to it and you measure the angles and stuff like that, but it basically is going to look perfect, and it's a fraction of the work as some of the other methods, okay? So let's get right into the video, because for me, a perfect star is one that looks perfect, it's symmetrical, it looks nice, it's not misshaped. You know, when you draw a star freehand, it's sort of like some of the ones are higher, some of the arms are higher or lower. You're not gonna have any of that. So let's get right into the video. You wanna take a ruler, and I'm just gonna give you some measurements. You can take these measurements and you can manipulate them, obviously, to change them, but I'm gonna just give you some basic measurements. Take the ruler and you're gonna draw a 10 centimeter line. Try and make it, you know, nice and straight on the paper, but it doesn't matter because we're going to be using a protractor for the other angles after. So we're going to make a 10 centimeter line just like that. I'm using pencil at first. After we're going to use marker to make to make like the actual star when we're done. So now that we have the 10 centimeter line, we're going to start from the top and we're going to draw 22.5 degree angles on both sides, because if we have two 22.5 degree angles, we're going to have 45 degrees in total. So two 22.5 degree angles, one on either side. So we're going to get the protractor, line it up like that. We're going to line up the zero line with this vertical line, and then line up this little perpendicular line to the top of that, to the top of our line that we drew. 22.5 degrees. It doesn't have to be exactly precise. We're just going to be almost there. So there's the 22.5 degree mark on this side. We're going to do the same thing on this side right over here. Just line it up properly like that. And 22.5 degrees is going to be about there. Okay. Now that I have those lines, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw a nice long line from this corner right here. And I'm going to draw the line on the, meet it up with the 22.5 degree line right over there. Let's just line it up properly, get a nice long line, because we can erase these after. So I'm drawing them really dark for the video, but like I said, you don't have to. Obviously in real life, you want to draw them lightly so you can easily erase them after, because these aren't going to be part of the star. They're just our guidelines, okay? So now that we've drawn those two 22.5 degree angles on either side, so this is a 45 degree angle in total. Now we're going to take our ruler and we're going to make markings on the 4 and 6 centimeter marks. So 40% and 60% of the total line length. So I'm taking it here and I'm going to make a mark on the 4 centimeter and the 6 centimeter right there. And we want a straight line across that is 90 degrees with this main line. So I'm going to take my protractor, that's the word I'm looking for, over here. And sorry about that, we'll bring it this way. And I'm just going to line up the zero line with this main center line right here. And then the perpendicular line is being lined up with the 4 centimeter mark. And I'm placing a little line at the 90 degree angle right there, and now I'm lining up that perpendicular line with the 6 centimeter mark over here, and I'm placing the line once again at the 90 degree angle right over there. Now I can take my ruler, we're going to draw nice long lines across so that we have a nice length to work with, just like that. Okay, and one more down here. So we now have basically all of the markings that we will need, for the most part, for our star. Okay, so let's get right into the video. Well, we already are quite into the video, but I mean, let's continue on. The next step is going to be to measure this line, because this is going to be our first arm of the star. And remember, this is an angled line. It's not a straight line. Straight lines and angled lines are going to be different lengths. Okay, so we're looking for the angled line right now. This is actually 4.5 centimeters right here. So this line is 4.5 centimeters. So what we're going to do now, this is a straight line that's going to go across, but we don't know where it's going to end. So what we want to do is we want to essentially get a line from this corner to somewhere on this line that's 4.5 centimeters. So I'm going to take my ruler, I'm going to put the 4.5 centimeter marking right there, and I'm going to figure out where it lines up on this line right here. It's right over there. So I'm going to draw a nice straight line that is 4.5, angled line that is 4.5 centimeters from here to here. We have now completed one of the arms right there. Okay. So once again, Now we are going to be measuring down over here, okay? And what we want to do, we can actually take a little bit of a shortcut. We can measure, we'll measure this. So we're going to measure 4.5 centimeters down from here, okay? My camera tripod is in the way. I'm going to have to just move it ever so slightly, but I don't want it to fall off the table, so I'm just going to shift everything. So we're going to measure 4.5 centimeters down here, which is right over here. I'm going to place a little marking right there. So our next arm is going to be like that, and then 4.5 centimeters across up here as well. So let's find the 4.5 centimeter marking, and we're going to see where it lines up on this line right here. So 4.5 centimeters from here onto somewhere on this line over here. It's going to be right there. Draw a nice line like that, okay? And now what we can do is we can do the same thing over here. Measure 4.5 centimeters to this line over here. Okay, and it's always the same measurement. This is the key to making it look as basically as perfect as possible. You can measure the angles here if you want to, but it's just easier just to work with the lengths because these are already equal angles over here. So 4.5 centimeters is about here. Now I am rushing this because I'm trying to keep this video not that long, so they might not be absolutely perfect, but if you take your time, it will be perfect. Your next line is going to be up like this, okay, which the line is already there, but I'm just showing you up like this, okay? And then your next line is going to be 4.5 centimeters from here to somewhere on this line over here. So let's measure 4.5 centimeters like this, okay? And I have to extend this line out a little bit. So let's just extend the line out, okay? We're gonna do 4.5 centimeters like I said, right about there. Like if I was doing this and taking my time with it, I would obviously, really make sure all of the lines are absolutely perfect. But for this video, I'm just trying to, show you the process. So now we have our our perfect star, as you can see. And what I would do is I would outline it. Now, I would definitely recommend using a ruler to outline it. So now we have our lines on there, so I can use a ruler to make my outline of the perfect star, as you can see. And like I said, some of the methods involved creating like perfect circles, perfectly shaped circles, and perfectly spaced out circles within a larger circle, and that will create a star with absolute equal angles all over. But for me, a perfect star doesn't have equal angles all over. I view a perfect star as something that looks perfectly symmetrical, and when I view a perfect star, I don't see equal angles all over. To be honest with you, that's not how I view it. So when I wanted to make this video, I wanted to make it look perfect, but not so much the angles, just make it look absolutely symmetrical and look absolutely beautiful, as you can see right over here. And that's basically it. It's a fairly easy process. It does take some time, and then obviously I would go and I would erase everything. But yeah, that's basically it. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment, and of course be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.